The presidential candidate did not say, go and give me one person to be my vice president. He said, give me, let me screen people who I can use. And there's 3 people who are brought up. And he picked one among the 3. So I do not see where election was held and where somebody else was said, look, this is the person we're giving to. It was by arrangement. The picking of vice presidential candidates is discretion of the what's it called, of the presidential candidate in conjunction with the party. So he decided to say, look, this is the person I want to work with, and he has a choice. If you are saying now, look, only Governor Wike's name was presented to him, I decided to say no, I ignore it without even consulting, because that's one of the reasons why he says he's angry, that he was not consulted when he was not picked. That he should have been told that, look, we are not going to pick you. We are picking so person. He didn't know about it. So that is his anger in a way. And like I said, it's politics. It's about interest. Everybody is just trying to protect their interest. If you see one of their demands that all their caucus should be given, they should be assured of positions. So it shows that. Is that demand in the open, or is something you're privy to? It's part of the demand that they're talking about. They want share. They want to know how what will be given to them in terms of position thereafter. And one of their demands. They were demanding that, according to them, they said they were also demanding that, look, Atiku should undertake that he won't spend more than one term. These are the issues that they're not realistic. It cannot happen that way. Yeah, the chairmanship position being from the north, I think that would be an easy way to resolve thereafter. But they should wait till the election is concluded and PDP become the ruling party. That's when they will. Let me ask you, because for a party that has democratic in its name, People's Democratic Party, you seem to have issues with your internal democracy. I can't remember any of your national chairman who has gone through the full term without removal from office or calls for removal from office. Why do you have that kind of crisis with your national structure? It is not unusual to have crisis in a party. Not only in the party. It is very where you have so many people. Mr. Tunji, it is very unusual when it becomes really consistent that every time you have a national chairman, he just doesn't complete his term. It doesn't matter. If he's not performing, he can be removed. If he's not performing, he can be removed. You see, the point I'm saying, I'm trying to raise is that, look, the fact that there's a disagreement now does not mean the party is in disarray. The party is not in disarray. The issue will be resolved, like I said earlier on. And then the position that's being held by the chairman now, he has a mandate of 4 years. I'm not saying, based on what is on ground now, I'm not saying he should complete his 4 years, because the circumstance leads to it. Probably this is one of the reasons why most of them have been changed for political interest, and then to be able to equity, fairness, and justice, which I think it will be resolved thereafter. No, it's difficult. Nigerians are Nigerians sometimes on social media and even just in-person conversations have expressed some level of disappointment with your party because of the role that you have played as the opposition. They don't think that you have played that role well. They think that you have been a rather docile opposition compared to when PDP was in power and APC became the opposition, that APC was a more vibrant opposition that you have the PDP today. And when you now look at these internal wranglings within your party, how do you think that plays in the psychology of the voter? You see, like I said, when you have a group of people from different community, from different area, there will be disagreement. How you will resolve disagreement is what matters. Yes, the PDP may not be doing well in the opposition according to you, probably because not according to me, according to Nigerians. Probably they've not been in the opposition before, and probably the APC that you've had 8 years of being the opposition, even if you've not done opposition for 16 years, but you've been there for 8 years. It's 2015. It's not that easy to adopt. And Nigerians don't think you've done well. Don't worry. By 2023, APC will go back to its position so that we'll be able to do opposition very well, and the PDP will be in charge. Maybe probably we don't know how to. And that's what I'm asking you. How do you think? They know how to. How do you think the voter today in Nigeria sees your party? How do you think all of these issues, bearing in mind that you also had Nigerians were also very displeased with how you did not zone your presidency, and that you have another candidate as your another person as your presidential candidate. They were really looking forward to the zoning. That did not happen, and there was disappointment. And then they don't also think that you have played your role well as your position because of where we are today. You have not been vocal about the issues of this country. And then again, how do you think that all of these issues play in the psychology of the voter? How does the average voter in Nigeria see the PDP? It don't play any major role in their mind. because except those who don't understand politics. By PDP as a party, they have enough structure to resolve all these issues, like I tell you. The issue on ground is normal. It's normal. There must be disagreements. And it will be resolved thereafter. You see, PDP are not good in opposition, just like you said, according to you. APC, that is good in opposition, will be back in 2023 to that opposition, so that they'll be able to play its role very well. PDP is not used to opposition. They are used to ruling the country. And then let me correct an impression. The Sony people are talking about, I don't see, that is not in the part, it's not a part, they've not done anything contrary to the position of the PDP. And I'm talking about the PDP now. They're allowing Atiku to contest, another to contest, is not contrary to the position of our constitution. The equity, the Sony we are talking about was, at that time, when they were in party, where we are in party, in government, is that, look, since we are in government, if a president from south rules 4 years or 8 years, another one will be from the other part of the country. As it is today, let's even look at it very clearly. The last president from the PDP is from the south. So if I even look at Sony, we are talking about the Sony position, it's not even be to the south, it should be to the north. It should be, because the last president from PDP is from the south. And some people are missing the party constitution with Nigeria. The fact that the current president is from the north does not affect the PDP. The constitution regarding Sony is a PDP affair. So if you are looking at whether or not it should be sown, you look at who was the last president from PDP. And that was what's it called? Goodluck Jonathan. So I've not seen them do anything that is not in line with the constitution, as people are claiming, because it's erroneous for people to say they betray their constitution, they do not follow their constitution. It's not correct. It's not correct. There's nothing in the constitution that says, look, it must go to the north, it must go to the south or whatever. What they say is that the objective of the party must be done in a way, in choosing political office and other, you put what that will create fairness, equity, and justice. And the equity and justice in this case is that it should go to the north. And probably it was not sown. It was an election. It wasn't sown, it was an election. And the Alhaji Atiku Abubakar won the election. So, and Governor Wike promised to abide by the results and to support any candidate that wins the election. So I don't know what has changed. That Governor Wike is angry, probably because of the vice presidential ticket that he was not able to get. But like I said, it's erroneous for anybody to say PDP as a party has betrayed its constitution, has violated its constitution. It is not correct. And that has to sink into the head of our people. Nigerian constitution is not PDP constitution. Nigeria president today from APC is a PDP APC man. That does not mean the other parties will now have to say, look, since we have a PDP APC man in government, or nobody in the other parties should bring anybody from the north. It should be from this.
But shouldn't PDP also have a respect? And I know that this is a forgone issue, but just because you mentioned it, shouldn't PDP have also respected the unspoken and unwritten Nigerian arrangement? Shouldn't the Nigerian arrangement also supersede the party arrangement? In the Nigerian arrangement, which is unwritten, just hold on, which is unwritten, but we have always followed, which is the fact that if we'll have a president from the north, the next president, whether he serves 8 years or how many years, the next president should come from the south. It's an unwritten arrangement that has kept this country going for years. And many people do not believe that the PDP broke that arrangement.
I remember by who? That arrangement by who? By the PDP. It's a party. The arrangement from PDP arrangement is not a Nigerian arrangement. It's not in our constitution. The arrangement we are talking about is an understanding within the party, not outside the party. So are you going to say other party that's not PDP should not feel a candidate from the north just because we have a president Buhari as president for now that is from the north? It wasn't when President Buhari became the president. He wasn't shown to the north. He was contested and he won. And like I said later on, the Sony issue is not. There is nothing that PDP has done to violate its constitution. It's normal.
Anyway, we're way past the zoning issue because, I mean, you already have your presidential candidate.
No, but I want to clear the impression. Because some people are always talking about it, that they betrayed their constitution, they violated their constitution. There is no violation of any constitution. There is none. Because the last president from PDP, from PDP is from the south. So it's the next person to come to hold, it should be from the north. And which is what has happened. And it's not as if it was sown there. It was an election in which so many people contested. We have about 4 or 5 candidates from the south. We have from the north. and the Alhaji Atiku Abubakar won the election. So it's not as if they say, now, give it to Alhaji Abubakar as a candidate of the party. That would when it become unfair to say, look, we sort out and giving it to Atiku. But it was election, was conducted. Everybody participated. There was no, they didn't say they will not participate just because, what's it called? The candidate from the north are part of the race. They did not say that. But like I said earlier on again, the issue has to do with interest, personal interest. People just want to negotiate, to say, look, where are we going to belong after the election? Because some people are aware that, look, they know who and who work for who and who. And so, so as not to be victimized, they want to settle scores so that to know where and where the thing will come from. Which I think is also premature.
The campaign starts on September the 28th, and you don't have a presidential campaign council yet, or the people you have basically right now acting, because we understand, from the understanding we have, is that you're waiting for this, your party is waiting for these issues to be resolved before you form your campaign council. If this issue is not resolved before then, what happens?
It may not be in the open, but I'm very sure names will have been penciled down. Names will have been penciled down to say, look, this is how it's going to be. They are just waiting for those caucus. You know, it's important to wait to see how it will be resolved so that other people from other caucus will be co-opted into the system so that everybody will be carried along. I think that's what they're doing. I'm very sure names will have been written down. So these are the council, these are the campaign committee, these are this and that. But as it is today, you may not know. I mean, you may not know because but I know the party will not sit down, fold their hands and say, until so happen. That's when maybe it has not been announced. They will, and I'm not aware that other parties too, apart from the DG they've announced, particularly APC, the DG and maybe the publicity PRO or what a spokesperson, nothing has been done again. Nothing has been done. It's not only PDP. The APC has not considered its campaign team.
The PDP has not even named anyone at all. But apart from the spokespersons that you have named, but at least they even have a DG. You don't, and we understand that they were waiting for this issue to be resolved so that possibly Wike can be the DG of that council. That's the understanding we have. We don't know how true that is. But again,
that's another rumor that will cause a problem thereafter.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you. If this issue is not resolved before then, and then you go ahead to form your presidential campaign council, isn't that then clear that the PDP has decided to say, look, with or without Wike, we are forging ahead?
Definitely, if there is no way forward regarding the settlement of the issue, the party will be forced to continue without them. You will recall also that in 2019, with Wike with us, with some of those governors with us, PDP still lost election. So it means that they are not infallible. I'm not saying they cannot do, they don't have their value. But without them, party will move. The party is bigger than individual.
Did he not deliver his state?
Yeah, he did. He did. And he will also deliver the state today, in 2023. It will be delivered, without Governor Wike. And I assure you that Governor Wike will not leave the party. He will not destroy what he built. Though party also beat him, and he also built the party in a way, contributed immensely. And I'm sure he will not deliberately destroy the house for himself.